Do you ever walk into a room and forget why you went in? Or maybe you're telling a story and suddenly blank. It's scary, right? You wonder, is this just aging or something worse? I've had people come to me terrified they were losing themselves, their memories, their focus, their spark. But here's the truth. Memory loss isn't just about age. It's about brain health. And your brain health, it's in your hands. I've seen incredible turnarounds. I'm talking about people who couldn't remember their grandkids' names, and now they're sharp, joyful, and confident again. So before you worry, before you give up, let's talk about what's really going on in your brain and what you can do today to protect it. You know, most people think that aging means losing your memory, your energy, your joy, but it doesn't have to be that way. I've seen 70, 80, even 90-year-olds completely turned their brain health around. The truth is, your brain can heal, but only if you treat it right. We spend our whole lives taking care of everything else, our families, our homes, our jobs, but no one teaches us how to take care of the one thing that runs everything, our brain. I've worked with thousands of older adults who felt lost, foggy, anxious, and with the right food, the right sleep, the right habits, everything changed. It didn't happen overnight, but it did happen. So if you're watching this and wondering, is it too late for me? Let me be clear. No, it's not. Your brain is waiting for you to start today, not next week, not when it gets worse, right now. You ever hear the phrase, use it or lose it? Well, when it comes to your memory, that's more true than ever. Your brain is like a muscle. The more you challenge it, the stronger it gets. But when you stop using it, it starts shrinking, literally. The hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory, can get smaller if you don't feed it the right nutrients or keep it active. But here's the good news. It can also grow. Yes, grow. I've seen people in their 60s and 70s increase the size of their hippocampus just by making a few small changes. More omega-3s, less sugar, more walking, more learning, less sitting and scrolling. Your brain is waiting for your attention. And when you give it what it needs, it rewards you. Let's start with something simple. Blood flow. Why? Because blood flow is the lifeblood of your brain. Literally. If your brain isn't getting enough blood, it's like trying to light a fire with wet wood. It won't catch. So many people I've met feel mentally sluggish, not because they're getting old, but because they have poor circulation. Things like high blood pressure, smoking, lack of exercise, they slowly choke off blood flow to your brain. But there's hope. A daily walk, deep breathing, drinking water, these tiny changes make a big difference. And you don't need to run a marathon. Just move your body, take the stairs, park farther from the store. Your brain will thank you. And let's talk about sleep. Because if you're not sleeping well, your brain can't clean itself. Literally. During deep sleep, your brain goes into housekeeping mode. It flushes out toxins, clears out the junk, repairs what's broken. But when you're tossing and turning all night or waking up 5 times to use the bathroom, your brain misses out on that critical cleaning cycle. Over time, those toxins build up. And that's when memory issues start. That's when you forget names, misplace keys, feel like you're in a fog. So protect your sleep like it's sacred. Make your room dark and cool. Go to bed at the same time each night. No screens before bed. A calm, rested brain is a strong brain. And let's not forget the elephant room, sugar. It's everywhere, in your cereal, your coffee, even in things that look healthy. And sugar is like poison to your brain. It causes inflammation, shrinks memory centers, and increases your risk of dementia. I know it tastes good. I know it's comforting, but your brain hates it. One woman I worked with was having serious memory problems. She was scared she had early Alzheimer's. We cut out sugar, added more healthy fats, got her walking 30 minutes a day. And 2 months later, she felt like herself again. Not perfect, but clear, awake, alive. That's what happens when you take sugars. Seriously. You know what else hurts your memory? Chronic stress. And I get it. Life is stressful. Bills, family, health problems, the world. But here's the truth. Stress literally shrinks your brain. It floods your body with cortisol. And over time, that wears down the memory centers. But you don't have to live like that. Take 5 minutes in the morning, just 5, and breathe deeply. Meditate, pray, listen to calming music. I call it brain hygiene because just like you brush your teeth, you should clean your brain daily. Stress doesn't have to control you. You have the power to create peace inside, even when life outside is messy. Let's switch gears and talk about food. You are what you eat, and your brain is made up of about 60% fat. So feed it the right kind of fat: avocados, walnuts, wild-caught salmon, olive oil. These are brain superfoods. They boost memory, fight inflammation, and keep your brain cells flexible and strong. You know what your brain hates? Trans fats, processed oils, greasy, fast food. They clog up the system. One man I worked with had been eating microwave meals every night. His memory was slipping. We got him on fresh veggies, lean protein, healthy fats, and within weeks, his energy shot up, his memory came back online. Food is not just fuel, it's medicine. Or it's poison, you choose. Now here's something most people overlook: community connection. Loneliness is as bad for your brain as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Think about that. We were never meant to live in isolation, especially as we age. I've seen so many seniors start forgetting things, not because their brain is broken, but because they're lonely. We need each other. Our brains need laughter, touch, conversation. So reach out, call someone, join a group, volunteer, get coffee with a neighbor. It may feel small, but it lights up your brain like fireworks. Don't underestimate the power of a hug or a good laugh. And here's one more thing: new learning. Your brain craves novelty. It wants to grow. Every time you learn something new, your brain forms fresh connections. So pick up that book, try a new recipe, learn a language, do puzzles, take a dance class. When you stop learning, your brain starts shrinking. But when you challenge it, even just a little, it sparks with life. I met a man who started learning the piano at 82. He said, "I thought I was too old." Turns out my brain was just waiting. Never stop learning. Your brain doesn't care how old you are. It just wants something to do. Now let's talk about something that you might not expect: your gut. Yes, your gut is directly connected to your brain. There's actually something called a gut-brain axis, and it's like a superhighway of messages going back and forth all day. If your gut is inflamed, your brain gets foggy. If your gut is full of good bacteria, your memory improves, your mood lifts, your focus sharpens. I had a patient who was struggling with anxiety, depression, and brain fog. We changed her diet, added probiotics, cut out gluten, introduced more fiber, and within 6 weeks, she said, "It's like someone cleaned the windshield in my head." That's how powerful your gut is. Take care of it, and your brain will follow. I want to talk about toxins. We live in a world full of invisible enemies to your brain: pesticides, heavy metals, mold, even chemicals in household cleaners. They sneak into your system quietly and cause long-term damage to memory and mental clarity. I had a man come into my clinic who had been exposed to mold in his basement for years without knowing it. He couldn't concentrate, was losing words mid-sentence, and felt like he was going crazy. We tested for toxins, and sure enough, mold was the culprit. Once we detoxed his body and gave his brain the nutrients it needed, his mind started coming back. You don't have to live in fear, but be aware. Filter your water. Eat organic when you can. Ventilate your home. Protect your brain from the inside out. And you know what else hurts your memory? Multitasking. I know that sounds strange because our whole world praises it. But every time you switch tasks from texting to watching TV to cooking dinner, your brain has to reboot. It's exhausting. It lowers productivity, increases mistakes, and over time, actually damages memory. Focus is a muscle, and we're letting it weaken. Try monotasking. Do one thing at a time, giving your full attention. It sounds simple, but it's life-changing. One woman I worked with started doing just that, turning off her phone while cooking, taking slow walks without distractions. And within a month, her forgetfulness improved. She wasn't broken. She was just overloaded. Let's talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough credit. Purpose. Yes, having a reason to get up in the morning can protect your brain. People who have a strong sense of purpose live longer, have better memory, and even lower risk of dementia. It doesn't have to be something grand. Maybe it's gardening. Maybe it's helping your grandkids. Maybe it's painting or mentoring someone younger. The point is, your brain needs direction. It needs a reason. When you stop dreaming, stop creating, stop caring, your brain begins to shut down. But when you wake up with a why, your brain lights up with energy. Don't underestimate the healing power of having something or someone to live for. And here's something you might not expect: gratitude. I've seen people transform their minds just by starting a gratitude practice. Your brain is wired to focus on problems, but when you consciously shift your attention to what's good, even if it's just one small thing, you build new neural pathways. Every morning, write down 3 things you're thankful for. Don't skip it. Your brain will start to see the world differently. One woman told me she started doing this after feeling lost and forgetful. 6 weeks later, she said, "I feel brighter, like I woke up from something." That's what gratitude does. It doesn't just change your day, it changes your brain. We also need to talk about something we all carry: trauma, big or small. Emotional wounds can impact memory. Your brain stores trauma deeply. And if it's never processed, it becomes a kind of background noise, always there, always draining you. I worked with a man who was sharp his whole life, but in retirement, his memory started slipping. When we talked, it turned out he'd been carrying grief from losing a brother, and he'd never dealt with it. Once he allowed himself to grieve, to cry, to heal, his mind began to open again. Sometimes protecting your memory means protecting your heart. Don't be afraid to face what's hurt you. Healing is possible. Let's circle back to movement. Not just walking, but joyful movement. Dance, stretch, swim, play. Movement increases oxygen, boosts endorphins, and most importantly, grows brain cells. In fact, exercise is the only known thing that consistently increases the size of your hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory. Isn't that amazing? And you don't need a gym membership. Just move, dance in the kitchen, stretch in the sun, walk in nature. Your body was made to move, and your brain was made to benefit from it. I've seen 90-year-olds dancing with sharper minds than 40-year-olds stuck in office chairs. Don't sit your brain to sleep. Move it back to life. Let me tell you about one of my favorite tools, affirmations. Yes, speaking to your brain matters. What you tell yourself becomes your reality. If you keep saying, "I'm old, I'm forgetful, my mind is gone," your brain listens. But if you say, "I am learning, my brain is healing, I remember more every day," that becomes your truth. It might sound silly, but it works. Neuroscience backs it. Your words shape your thoughts, your emotions, and your biology. So be kind to yourself. Be encouraging. Be your own brain's best friend. Every morning, speak life into your mind and watch how it changes. And now I want you to remember this. You are not broken. You might feel slow, tired, foggy, but you're not broken. Your brain is not done. It's just waiting for you to nourish it, move it, calm it, love it. I've seen people who thought they were finished, mentally, emotionally, physically, turn their lives around by starting with just one small step. One walk, one healthy meal, one good night's sleep. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin right now, not tomorrow, not when the grandkids leave, not when things calm down. Right now, your brain is listening. What will you tell it? Let's talk about something easy to add to your routine. Brain boosting habits. These are simple things you can do every day that add up over time. Start your morning with water. Your brain is mostly water, and dehydration shrinks it. Try 5 minutes of deep breathing that calms your nervous system and boosts oxygen. Eat a handful of walnuts. They're shaped like little brains for a reason. Spend 5 minutes outside. Sunlight tells your brain to wake up. And end your day with quiet, no screens, no chaos, just calm. These little things are small but powerful. When stacked together, they build a brain that's more focused, more peaceful, and yes, more memorable. And let's talk about something we've studied for decades. Brain scans. And you know what they show? Your brain is changeable, even if it's been hurt, even if it's aging, even if it's struggling. One woman in her 70s came to us convinced she was developing dementia. Her scan showed low blood flow, inflammation, and stress, not Alzheimer's. With targeted supplements, therapy, better sleep, and diet changes, her next scan was brighter, more active, more alive. And she said, I feel like I have myself back. Brain imaging doesn't just show damage, it shows potential. And potential is powerful because if you fix a part, you really fix the pathetic. Brain games help. The answer is yes, but only if you enjoy them. Crossword puzzles, memory apps, chess, they're great, but only if they challenge you without stressing you. But here's the truth. Variety is what matters most. Learn a new language, take up piano, cook a new recipe. Even brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand forces your brain to grow new connections. Novelty is the fertilizer for your brain. The moment something becomes a habit, your brain stops working hard. So switch things up, surprise your brain, keep it guessing, and it will keep growing. And I know people always ask, do supplements work? Yes, the right ones in the right doses for the right person. Omega-3s are foundational. They reduce inflammation and improve memory. Vitamin D, critical, especially if you're older and not getting sun. Magnesium calms the brain. B vitamins support energy and focus. But here's the key. Don't guess. Get tested. Know what your brain needs. A woman once told me she was taking 12 different supplements and still felt awful. We tested her. She was overdosing on some, missing others. After tailoring her plan, her brain started waking up. Personalization is everything. Here's something beautiful. Connection protects your memory. Loneliness, on the other hand, shrinks it. It's heartbreaking, but true. The more isolated you feel, the faster your memory fades. Exactly. I always tell people it's not just about taking care of your brain. It's about feeding it with love, laughter, and meaningful connection. Call a friend. Join a book club. Sit with someone in the park and talk about life. Human contact literally lights up your brain. One older man told me, I started volunteering just to get out of the house. But now I feel younger, like my brain got a reason to show up again. That's the power of connection. And don't forget the impact of faith and spirituality. I'm not here to tell you what to believe, but the research is undeniable. People who pray, meditate, or feel connected to something bigger than themselves, they have stronger memories, better mental health, and live longer. Why? Because faith gives your brain rest. It replaces worry with trust. It activates the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for focus, planning, and empathy. I had a woman who told me her memory came back after she started meditating for 10 minutes each morning. It quieted the noise, she said, whether it's prayer, reflection, or stillness. Your brain needs sacred space. And now I want to share one of the most hopeful stories I've ever seen. A man came to me at 82. He was forgetful, angry, and convinced his life was winding down. He told me, I can't even remember my own grandchildren's names some days. His brain scan showed signs of injury from years of untreated depression and poor sleep. We put him on a program: exercise, sleep therapy, omega-3s, gratitude journaling, spiritual connection. 3 months later, he walked into my office smiling. He said, I remember their names now. I remember what it feels like to feel alive. It wasn't a miracle. It was brain science plus hope. So I want to ask you something. What's your first step going to be? Maybe it's cutting out sugar. Maybe it's adding 5 minutes of prayer or journaling. Maybe it's booking a walk with a friend or calling your doctor about your supplements. The most important thing isn't to do everything, it's to do something. Your brain responds to love, it responds to care, it responds to action. This is not about fear, it's about power. You have the power to protect your memory, starting today, not with fear, not with pressure, but with love, intention, and small steps that add up over time. So if you've made it this far, I want to say something from the heart. Thank you. Thank you for caring enough about yourself to listen, to learn, to hope. Because that's what this entire message is really about, hope. I've seen people who were convinced their memory was gone, their minds were fading, and their best days were behind them. And I've watched those very people come alive again, not through magic, not through luck, but through small, loving choices every single day. You are not powerless. You are not too old. You are not too far gone. You are a miracle in motion. And your brain, it's waiting for you to give it what it needs: nourishment, movement, rest, joy, peace, love, and above all, attention. Your brain runs everything in your life, but for most of us, it's the last thing we ever think to care for. That changes today, because today you know better. And when you know better, you can do better. Start small. Choose one thing. Take a walk. Call a friend. Add some greens. Say a prayer. Turn off your phone. Breathe. Celebrate.